validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I am your host, Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. We are in yet another one of those Sunday nights where we're going to be doing a reactions to questions and comments from the fans. So bear with us tonight because you know how the audio files are. We put everything into the text, and then once we get everything into the text, I try to make it play for you where you guys can hear the sound. So check me out. Make sure that you guys have the ability to like and subscribe. Also, you guys can join the membership if you so choose. If you want to dive into the comment section, you can leave all the questions and comments you want on the show. We've had a lot of good guys in here. Jesse, Joseph, Cody, Carl, JP1, all you guys that are coming up onto the show, throwing your shout outs, putting your questions and comments. And we had, I think, April and Nikki and Maya, who also came in this past week, putting their insight in. So I greatly appreciate that. It is a pretty open mic, open forum channel. So we do have some positive and negative comments on the show, and we analyze all of them respectfully and appropriately. So we keep your naysaying comments appropriate, and feel free to say what you got to say. Remember, we're live 7 nights a week, every night of the week. Special shout out to Red Void and Danny from Twitch, as well as special shout out to those of you that are watching us on Twitter. But since we're live 7 nights a week, you guys can see us talking about something different every night of the week. Not likewise, we're going to be following up on a lot of things like the California fire that's still burning, that it actually has far exceeded my expectations, because I said it was still going to be on fire in February, and that people were naysaying everything I say, and they're like, nah, they're going to put it out in a week or two, and 6 weeks later it's still burning. We're going to be following up on the flood as it happens, providing you with detailed information on the flood, and then we're going to be doing some insight on everything that's happening with a lot of the changes, and breaking some of the rumors that are going out right now, because we have some social media rumors where false claims of the president taking actions that would benefit the country if he was taking those actions are actually being made as clickbait to kind of get people riled up. And truth is that, you know, what's really happening in this country isn't being talked about. So I'm going to make sure that anything that isn't really happening, I talk about how that's not true, debunk some of the myths, and then all the things that really are happening, we're going to talk about that. We've got Nepal, one of the countries that we were talking about. Special shout out to Nepal, Brazil, Romania. We're going to be talking about Nepal, how to make money for us in Nepal. We talked about Ecuador last week, and we're going to be doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday conversations about money, business, finance, wealth, how to make wealth, maintain wealth, make better financial decisions to acquire wealth. We're going to be sharing knowledge about everything on this podcast that's basically common knowledge. And then we're also going to step into Thursday through Sunday, social improvement, self-improvement, self-awareness, as well as social development in your environment, to give yourself the ability to make better decisions and make your environment and your society the kind of society that you'd be proud to live in. So now that we're done with all of the opening introductions, let's go ahead and see how this audio file thing is working for us today, because we are going to try to get the sound one way or another. You guys are going to hear something in this some gun. Give me just a second. I'm going to go ahead and run this where we can check and double check the sound. So if in the event that you guys can't hear it, I can't hear it. And if I can't hear it, then I'm going to make sure that you hear it.
Wanting to text all day, every day? Okay, for starters, I'm new to online dating as a 42-year-old female divorced with a couple of solid situationships after. I know I want monogamy and a long-term relationship, but don't want to remarry or cohabitate, etc. Anyway, I have no problem getting likes on Hinge, but when I match, I get unmatched if I don't respond super fast, or if it moves to texting. These dudes want to text all day, every day, call me a lot, which I don't like at all. I feel like it's doing too much. There's no way a man could be that into me or desperate to talk to me that much. I'm literally a stranger. Also, I can't stand mundane robotic good morning or good night, did you eat yet mindless conversations. Is it really just like this now, and I'm not adhering to proper dating habits? Or just meeting a ton of crazy dudes? My situationals have been dudes I met IRL, so I thought maybe online dating would be better.
She talking a lot.
Annoying and suffocating to keep up with these constant communication and rushes to go on a date expectations. Also, why the fuck do guys love to send selfies and ask for pics back?
Yeah.
Hard and no. Am I just maybe not ready for this?
Yeah, you not ready. That was a lot. I kept pausing it because I'm sitting over here thinking that it's gonna work. But the stuff that she's going into, okay, so first and foremost, social interaction is quick response, and it's 24/7 response, which is completely different from phone calls. It is going to be just as expedient as text messages. The only difference is that you have billions of people that have your social media contact, where there's only the people that you have engaged in person that have your social media contact or your phone number to send you a text message. Just like your network might text you before they call you. Some people actually do business that way, that they prefer to receive a text message to filter their communication. So if you back in the day before cell phones came out, people would call, leave a message on a voicemail. The voicemail would play while the phone is on. You would be talking into the voicemail. The person would listen to the call. It's called screening your calls. And if they recognize the voice or they're interested in the topic that's being said on the voicemail, they'll pick up the phone while you're still leaving a message on the voicemail. That no longer exists because way back in the day, the voice machine was separate from the phone. So the active call was being recorded by the voice machine back in the day. So you could hear the recording of the voice machine while you were talking on the phone. So that person could just come and pick up the phone. So your message could be something to the magnitude of, come on, bro, answer the phone. It's me, blase, blase. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. And they pick up the phone and they'll start talking to you. Now, as technology improved, we have voicemail separate from the call. So when the call is ended, then you get redirected to a different system that actually records your voice message. And that voice message, we used to back in the day have to go to that message bank and listen to the messages. Otherwise, our message bank would get overrun with messages. We have to still to this day go back and like delete a lot of our messages out of our voicemail to keep our voicemail open, or set our voicemail after a certain period of time to delete a certain number of unheard or unused messages after 30, 90 days or whatever, to keep enough room on our voicemail to receive messages. There's a lot of stuff that's happened with technology over the years. But to the point of your statement, with social media, it's not like text messaging, because text messaging, the person you know is trying to contact you. In modern times, because the young bucks don't know this, in modern times, you have everybody that you know, their contact name is in your phone, not just a random number. If they change numbers, you don't know who that is. Most people respond to the number because of caller ID recognition. And if you don't know the number, if you don't know the name, you don't answer the phone. But when you exchange contacts with somebody you're interested in talking to, you have their contact in your phone. Now, boiling down to your complaint about the dudes reaching out to you too often, you're on the messaging platform, and guys have limited time, but there's little increments in their life where time stands still. So a few seconds could feel like a few hours could feel like a few days in those instances. And those are the moments where dude has plenty of time to talk to you, and he's messaging you really quickly. He's got a lot of fast responses, but you probably busy. You got too many things to do. Now, this is going to be the issue you're going to have with your complaint. You said that they're reaching out to you and they're like, hey, how you doing and stuff like that. We don't know what to say. A guy is not going to know what to say to a girl he's never seen in person, he's never met, and he doesn't know what your likes and dislikes are. He wants to connect with you. So it's first thing in the morning. He doesn't want to be rude. He doesn't want to be too intrusive, but he's awake. He's thinking about you, and he's going to message you. You're going to be offended by waking up first thing in the morning with a good morning, how high are you, did you eat kind of text. Bitch, be grateful. That motherfucker is talking about I love you without saying that. He's caring about you without doing too much, but you feel like it's too much. The ones that they thinking about you before they go to bed, hope you get a good night's sleep, sweet dreams, this, that, and the third. Did you eat, or is everything okay, before they stop talking to you for the night? They're still thinking about you. So they're sending you annoying ass messages. To you, they're annoying. But to them, they're trying not to be too overwhelming, because men wear their hearts on their sleeves. They fall faster than women. He might have fell for the picture and liked the verbal conversation, and he's painting this picture in his head like, oh, she's going to be this type of girl, when you're really not going to be that girl. That's just the image you put up on social media. And he's falling for the fascination that he's creating about you. And it's a failure that all men do. But if you meet that fantasy, then by all means, you're a keeper. So you got to deal with the mundane, how's your day, good morning, good night, stuff like that, because the more he's thinking about you, the more he's texting you. So that means if you get 20, 30, 50, 75 text messages a day from this guy, that means he's really into you. He doesn't have to tell you that he likes you. He doesn't have to tell you that he loves you. But a man that is texting you multiple times a day, keep carrying on conversations throughout the day, but still has a full-time workload to deal with, is the kind of guy that's really interested in you. Now, the other thing that you said on your comment was you were concerned about the fact that most guys on the dating sites are rushing to first contact. That's because there's so many fucking trolls online. They rickrolling you, they catfishing you, you know, they doing this bait and switch shit where they're gonna get you up onto the thing, convince you to give them some money, convince you to meet them somewhere. They got people that, oh, you know, I need you to send me some gift cards so that I can do X, Y, and Z, get this babysitter, blah, blah, blah. They scam it. They got so many people that will make. We just did a show just earlier this week about how you can make a living off of dating platforms. Not just investing in the platform itself, but literally creating a few dozen profiles and running those profiles as content creators, where your job is to drive traffic to this dating platform, holding conversations with individuals to convince them to start up a membership. People do that. And they might have 10, 12, 15 devices there, and they're talking to a bunch of different people with a bunch of different profiles, convincing each one of them people to start up a profile, to start paying for the membership. And they get a commission off of that. So guys are going to want to make sure that this is a real person. When you have a person that wants to talk to you on Skype or WhatsApp or WeChat, for those of you that are in Asia, you know, that person really wants to connect with you. You know, that person, I know we got, oh, well, get my Snap, get my Instagram, blah. But the problem with Snap and Instagram and all of that is that you're going to have somebody connect to an even less personal social media platform coming straight off of a dating site, where they're going to get lost in the millions and millions of contacts that you're getting on a daily basis for the women. Because for the men, we don't really have that many women reaching out to us, talking to us about nothing. When guys get on social media and they put up stuff, they will get probably more replies from the comments that they've made. So if they're scrolling through social media and they're making comments on other people's channels for whatever reason, whatever content that they're commenting on, if they say something that is impactful, it doesn't have to be inspirational, it doesn't have to be inspiring in any way, shape, or form. It could just trigger somebody, whether it's a positive trigger or a negative trigger, and that trigger will get them to respond to that man. But you don't have 20, 30, 50,000 women on a dating platform or on a social media platform like Instagram or Snapchat or something like that, talking about some, oh, you're attractive, I want to go out on a date with you kind of thing. It doesn't happen. That is the man's role. That the society has made that the man's role and the man's responsibility to ask the girl out, even through social media. So if you claim that you're interested in this man's profile, then the man is gonna want to talk to you in person to make sure that you're the real deal Holyfield. Also, he's going to want to make sure that the photo that he's looking at and admiring is the exact person that he's talking to. So video communication would be fantastic. If you guys are able to connect video communication, then you guys are able to match in a way where you know that you're talking to the real person and you're able to talk on a deeper level. We have certain people on dating platforms. We tired of paying for the membership to be ghosted by so many thousands of women. Y'all are starting to experience that right now. The more you are determined in your middle ages to find a man after playing the field in your younger ages, when men were throwing themselves at your feet, now that you have the role of doing the chasing, now you're experiencing the rejection. And he says, do a double thumbs up photo. But you're right. That's what I'm saying. So the thing is that what you have is, look, you had me lose my place. If he knows that you're the real deal Holyfield, but men don't like paying for these memberships to be ghosted. Women are experiencing the ghosting now because they're doing the reaching out. Social media is a disaster of communication, because if the person doesn't like your profile, they don't like your photo, or they don't like your comment, or they just don't have enough time in life, they have no motivation to reach out to you, to reply. So you will reach out to individuals, and just like advertisement, 2% of the messages you send out will end with a reply. Then you also have the follow-up phase. If you do reply to them, a lot of times, if you don't reply fast enough, they've moved on to somebody else and they're completely ignoring your profile. Your comments are lost in their comments. So out of all the people that they're trying to reach out to, they're only going to pay attention to page 1. They're not going to pay attention to page 2, page 4. Nobody likes to go to page 5 on Google search. If they can't find it in the first 2 or 3 pages, they quit. If they can't find it by the time they get to the bottom, they're not ready to hit number 2 and scroll down a second time. So if you're not a page 1 comment, if you're not the first 10 replies on page 1, they're not going to go and look for your comment unless they were really interested in you, where they favorited your profile for some reason and they're messaging you. So if they can talk to you, then if they could talk to you like on a direct line, like WeChat or Skype or WhatsApp or something like that, then yeah, that is the place to do that, because most people who don't use Skype or WeChat or whatever on a regular basis, the only person that's going to connect with them on that particular line is the person that's trying to hook up with them. So now you have a guaranteed relationship communication. He says, life is like a dull knife. You got to carve your way, but it's a long, hard carve. What about business cards? Well, business cards are so here's a problem with a business card, Cody. Business cards, you're going to give it to them. If you got the digital one, it's a little bit better, but I've had my experience with a digital business card where somebody gave me their digital number, but because it was a generic name, it got lost in the 2,000 or 4,000 plus contacts I got on my phone. So I couldn't even find the person's phone number to contact them back. So that was one of the issues that we had with that particular situation. Joel, special shout out to Joel, first time on the show. The other problem with the paper business cards, the issue that we have with the paper business card is that if they don't take the time to take your number or contact information off of that card and install it to their phone, the card will go into their purse or their wallet, and then it will stay there until it gets damaged or they run out of space, and then they'll throw it away because the relevance of the card no longer exists 3 to 6 months down the line, where they forgot who you are and what interest they had in you. So business cards are a good way to kind of get them to remember you one more time before they throw you in the trash. But if they don't have your phone number in their favorites list on their cell phone, the same way they don't have your phone number or your contact information in their favorites on a dating platform, they're probably not going to follow up with you. So that's going to be a big issue. You said there's incognito, bro. There's incognito, but that's not going to change the fact that they can't see you. But Joel said females do not know how to take rejection, and I perfectly agree with that, bro. Women are used to getting whatever they want. The more attractive they are, the less often they're told no, and the less often a woman is told no, the more demanding she is with her higher levels of expectation, because she usually gets what she wants, things that she don't want, things that she don't need, on top of all the things that she do need. So when the woman is placed into a position where now she has to ask and or demand somebody who has no interest in her, she's going to start experiencing more no's. And ladies, the rules of advertisement are still the same between men and women alike. It is still a 2% margin, but the difference is that 100% or 90 or 80% of your yeses are going to come when you're young. And that 2% off swing where you had 98 or 99% of the yeses in your lifetime happen between 14 and 30. Yeah, I'm gonna get that low, because y'all be dating when y'all in high school, y'all be dating when y'all in middle school, y'all be dating when y'all coming out of, y'all got y'all childhood sweetheart. That from the all of the dudes chasing you from the time you old enough to date until the time you legally old enough to date, from the time you legally old enough to date until the time you done crossed over menopause, all the yeses that you would have gotten, it's the scale then flip. Now you're gonna see the biggest drought since crime went down. You're gonna see the biggest drought. It's not even gonna be like it's they're not even gonna acknowledge your existence. They're gonna be hitting on your daughter and ignoring you at the same time. So you got to understand, the balance is gonna shift. The difference is that men are told no from birth until they're like 40. So they experience more no's in the younger years than what they experience in the older years. They're still going to experience more no's than women, but Men are going to experience less no's when they get older because men are more financially successful when they're older. The women are going to experience less no's when they're younger. They're going to experience more no's when they're older, but they're going to experience less no's than men. So those women that are being assertive and getting out there and trying to find a man in a damaged dating scene, y'all are going to have a hard time trying to find what y'all are looking for, because now that you put few million miles on the tread there, you got 2, 3, 4 kids. It's ruined now. You ain't got no interest in having no more kids, or you're not capable of having no more kids. You got a bunch of bills to pay with these kids. You got baby daddies involved in the picture. That's gonna make it harder for you to have a new man in your life, because the 3 or 4 men that's still in the children's lives is gonna interfere, because each one of them men gonna be salty. So that's gonna interfere with your ability to have a new man come in and get involved with y'all. And then the kids is gonna be bitter. So then you're gonna have a problem with that too. And you're going to have to be cautious about the kids, because you don't want the kids to form a connection with a man that's not good for you or good for the kids. So there's so many other dynamics that come into play there. You can't just grab anybody when you're a single mother. You got to grab the right one that's suitable for the children, on top of the fact that they're suitable for you. So if that person isn't self-sacrificing for your kids without even knowing your kids, you can't even date that person. So there's so many criteria involved in that ladies, y'all going to have a harder way to go when y'all 35. Especially when most of y'all are having children before y'all 20. Y'all have 3 kids by the time y'all 25. So it's going to be harder for y'all to, unless the kids is grown and going to college, y'all going to have a hard time at 35. In order for the kids to be grown and going to college, by the time you 35, you had to be dropping babies at like 15, 16 years old. You understand what I'm telling you? And Cody said, what about billboards? Billboard, bro, if you paying money for a billboard, then you can just buy their attention, because a billboard is a few $1,000s. The nose and the hose by Santa Claus. Yeah, that's the case. So when it comes down to the men wanting to meet a woman in person, the fact is that they want to meet a woman in person so that they can notice she's serious. A lot of men that are on these dating sites right now, they're not willing to pay for the profile because they want to see a serious woman talk to them. So they're going to be interested in the women that reach out, because those women are serious. Those women are going to pay for the platform. Now, the platforms are going to be it's a biased platform. The way the biased platforms work is that at least one of the 2 people communicating in the conversation has to be a member, which means, and statistically, men are encouraged to buy the platform. So the women will talk to whoever reach out to them that has a membership. Now, if a man follows that method, granted, you're going to have less contacts, because y'all can't read each other's messages and they're not going to buy the membership. But the women that buy the membership and reach out to you, you have to analyze those women and be like, all right, bet I'm going to go ahead and talk to her because she's serious, because she's paying for the membership. You're not really showing her that you're serious because you're not paying for the membership, but who really cares from a man's point of view, because we're the prize, right? We're building ourselves up to be the expectation that a woman wants. We need to find out if this is what we want. So we already met their expectations. Once we put our financial status on a profile and we show them how much money we're making and what kind of career choice we have and where we living at, once they see that, they don't really care about nothing else. That's it. It's like we meet their criteria, so they will accept us. Now, whether or not we accept them, that's the whole question. So we have to figure out if this is the woman that we want. Now that we qualify, it's like a pre-qualification for a loan. Now that we qualify, we have to see if this qualifies for us. And that's the part that women don't like to hear, because they believe that there's a lot of them that believe that they qualify by default just because they're females. And that's not true. So there's going to be a situation where if the man don't like your lack of interest in him, your lack of time, your lack of effort, your poor behavior, your lack of attention span for the relationship, they might not have any interest in pursuing you, because they may feel like they're not a priority in your life. And if they're not a priority in your life, then they're probably not going to continue forward in that particular engagement. So let's go ahead and check on another one, because we got a few of these, and we got a 1 a.m. that we got to meet. So we got like 2 hours left to run through all of these.
Did I mess up the second date? The first date we went for coffee and was pretty good. We sat side by side, chatted, flirted, and I gave some light touches throughout the night. We exchanged numbers and texted for a bit. She would always respond fast and was always responsive. Then we set up a second date for drinks at a restaurant. This time, we sat across from each other and and chatted, kind of like last time. We also talked about what happened in our lives since the last time we met. I tried to flirt and tease a bit here and there. She twirled her hair at times while smiling, but towards the end, she said she had plans with friends, so had to cut the date short. I think maybe it was an excuse because she made up her mind about me. So the date only ended lasting 1 hour. You guys think that too short? It didn't feel as good as the first date, since there were some silences this time. We hugged and parted ways. But then when I text her later to schedule a third date, no response at all. Haven't heard from her since. I want to know what is expected of the guy on the second date. Is having conversations generally not enough? Felt kind of odd for her to go from enthusiastic to zero that quickly.
So from a man's perspective, I can tell you that you guys are supposed to get to know each other until you reach a moment to where one of you overhears a red flag, period. Whether it's a pet peeve or, potential catastrophic failure going forward, one of you is going to hear a red flag. Once you hear that red flag between the first and third date, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate your time, and then walk away. For women, it's easy to do because the investments are on the men. It is the man's responsibility to pay for the date, to set everything up, and she's going to show up. Sometimes he's going to bring her, but she might show up to the free experience. And with rejection, she doesn't even reciprocate the rejection by paying the bill or compensating or reimbursing the man in any way, shape, or form. So she's gotten the whole night's entertainment, and then all of a sudden, she's just going to ghost you. That's life. It's the relationships. It sucks. It shouldn't be that way. If a woman is investing in a man as much as a man is investing in a woman, then she can be straightforward about the fact that she will no longer be investing in these endeavors, so that you can understand that, it's done. There shouldn't be an in-person ghosting scenario. She should be able to explain to you what her lack of interest is. And just like with failed job interviews, if you didn't get the job, you can find out from the employer as to what you did wrong. But fellas, we're the job. She's the employee. Women aren't going to agree with that scenario, but think about this, ladies. Those of you who want to date a man that's more successful than you, those of you that want to have a generous man that is going to pay for your standard of living, buy you gifts, take you to nice places, and you're going to do things for him that doesn't cost you money, that is going to satisfy him, and he's going to pay for things for you that cost him money to keep you around. That ultimately means, that dynamic means that he's going to be paying for your existence, which is just like an employer. So with that mindset, while mutual respect is still supposed to be there, fellas, we have to understand that if she don't like the job, she don't have to come back. She can walk. So, I would put myself on a expectation. I'd send you 1 or 2 messages. If I was really interested in you, probably 3 or 4. And then after that, 2-3 days later, you're terminated. I'm not even going to follow up anymore. You can hit me up down the line and tell me that something came up. You lost track of time. You lost your phone. You lost my number. You had to dig it up out of the trash or something like that. Give me this real, like, Harold and Kumar style story as to what took you so long with calling me back. But if you are interested in me, you're going to make up for your absence. And that's not talking about sex. That's like, you're going to put forth more effort into showing me that I'm important. You're going to put forth more effort to show me that you value me. So you're going to be rearranging your schedule so that I can be there for you. You're going to rearrange your trips so that you can pass by me, even if you've got to stop by my job, or offer for me to stop by your job, so that we can connect with one another while we're dealing with busy lives. You will make time to engage me if I am valuable to you. A woman will do whatever she has to do to make sure that the man that she wants stays. And this ain't got nothing to do with sex. A man will do everything he can think of just to keep a woman from leaving if she ain't got to want him. So the dynamic is a little bit different. If she don't want you, bro, she don't care enough about you to tell you that she ain't interested. So the moment that she stops showing interest, that's the moment that it's dead. She can make that up to you because she hasn't done anything catastrophic, but she can't make that a habit. But you, my friend, are going to have to just really like there's nothing expected from the first date. Women want to be wowed and impressed. And if they're not wowed and impressed, there are some women that are not literally interested in the general long-term connection. Those are going to be the ones that if they're not wowed and impressed, they're going to leave. We also have another group of women, and these are not the ones that are wife material, because a wife material woman doesn't need to be wowed and impressed. She's going to be wowed and impressed by your character. She's going to be fascinated and taken back by your goals and ambitions, your intellect, your communication skills, your tentativeness, your attention to her and her detail. She's going to be impressed by that. But the ones that are not here for a long-term relationship, those are going to be the ones that's going to be looking at the first date like, all right, this was good. Second date, oh, even more impressive. Third date, even more impressive. Fourth date, even more impressive, so that they can go back and brag to their homegirls about how awesome the dates have been. Not because of how awesome you are. Those are not wife material. Those are not girlfriend material kind of girls. Now, if you bring her to a really good first date, but that's above your means, you can't do that often. You bring her to a second date that's less impressive than the first date, she might lose interest. She wasn't there for you. She was there for the date. You took her somewhere where like she liked you and your personality, but that's not the lifestyle that she wanted, because that wasn't the dating atmosphere she was expecting. She ain't going to tell you nothing. She's just not going to talk to you no more. Now, ladies, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. Y'all can tell me why y'all will have a fantastic first date, fantastic second date, and then ghost the dude, and he ain't did nothing wrong. Tell me why you would ghost the dude. Because from my observation, outside of the woman overhearing the man saying something that turns out to be a pet peeve for the woman, where she's not going to be rude, she's just not going to talk to him anymore. Outside of that particular type of situation occurring, the only reason why a woman would ghost a man is because she is no longer interested in pursuing that man. And the only things that I can see, if they weren't after sex, if either person wasn't after sex, if they are not interested, if she's not interested in the man anymore, that means that whatever her expectations was from the first date wasn't met by the second date, wasn't stated on the first date to be met on the second date. And because it wasn't met on the second date, she ain't interested, which means she wasn't there for the man. She was there for the stuff that she didn't get. Now, the women that want the man, it ain't about the stuff. And that's why you can tell what kind of woman you got based on how she reacts to the type of date you bring her to. You bring her to a cheap date and she complains, she ain't on the date for you. She's on a date for the date. She wants to be lavished and entertained at your expense. It's not girlfriend and wife material. You take a girl out, she's not satisfied with the environment that you offered, and she wants to one up the game and bring you somewhere more exciting that she's going to pay for. Then she really wants to have a good time with you, but what you got was not in line with the taste of what she wanted to do. There are women that'll say, oh, I didn't want to go to the movies, I want to go bowling. And instead of you having to charge it to the game with the movie tickets that you bought, she'll put you in a car and take you to the bowling alley down the street from the movie theater and buy the rest of the night's worth of bowling and pay for food and drinks and everything like that. There are some very successful and very competent, capable women that'll say, look, I didn't want to do this, I want to do that, and I'll cover the difference. Where you're not really taking a loss, y'all still having a good night, and she's gonna compensate for what's going on there. But truth, the ones that ain't there for you, bro, if they don't like the date, they don't like you. Now, Cody say, wear a wacky outfit. I think that is entertaining for if you are that type of person. If you're a jokester, then yeah, you kind of come on the first date semi, appropriately professional or serious or whatever. And then once you guys start loosening up on the first date, you kind of like surprise her with like a wacky outfit to start the date. However, have a change of clothes so that after the laugh is over, you can actually put on a serious outfit and go out and have a good time with her. Unless the wacky outfit that you're wearing is themed to the location y'all are about to go, where it's not going to look weird where you're going. Because women are more subconscious about being embarrassed by the people that they're with when they're on a date. What does society think about me walking down the street with this man? They don't care about like what does society think about me walking down the street with this rich man. They care about what would society think about me walking down the street with this average or less than average man. So that's it's strange. Cody says it was a joke. Yeah, but that's a but it's actually, while that's a joke, that's actually really good advice. It's actually really good advice. If you are playful, you can break out playful. If she's playful, she can one up you on a third date and come out with a wacky outfit of her own. Y'all can make that a back and forth thing. We see that there's one couple on social media where they scare each other with like the little party popper things that like blows out like confetti all over the house, and they like drop all kinds of liquids and stuff like that, and like really like shock and scare each other. They have a kid together. The kid is involved with them, like jumping out on each other, scaring each other, and surprising each other with the balloon popping and stuff splattered all over the place. So if you've got that kind of vibe where you're a jokester and you start dating a jokester, yeah, you can wear a wacky costume. She might one up you and wear a wacky costume. Y'all might have kids together and y'all wear wacky costumes to pick your kids up. Then your kids might wear wacky costumes and embarrass you on your business meetings. If that's the kind of family that y'all got, swing it, but you know what kind of person you're getting into based on the first few dates that y'all interact with one another. So let's go ahead and see what the next one we got going on here.
Where can I find these kind of guys? Hello. So I find myself going back to this kind of guy. They are all kind of artsy and nerdy. One of my friends said, "You want a feminine man."
Hold on, y'all. I think that y'all not hearing a dang sound.
And they always
They doing it to me again. All right, I'm gonna do this for y'all one more time. Hold on. It tried me one more again. See, the audio was playing a little while ago, and now it's not. So we're gonna try this one more again, because we had there it is.
For not wanting to text
And
all
we
day,
were
every
at,
day?
he's
Okay, for
saying,
starters, I'm new
did
to online dating as a 42-year-old
slavery hurt?
female divorced with a couple
It
of solid
still hurts.
situationships after. I know I want monogamy and a long-term relationship, but don't want to remarry or cohabitate, etc.
Oh, my bad, y'all. So here we go. We got to get up there to your boy, because we was over there talking to him. It was at 3 minutes 37 seconds. I put these things together, and then after I put these things together, sometimes they play and sometimes they don't
Also
play.
tend to have pet cats or want one. Maybe this is too niche, but I swear this is always the kind of guy I end up talking to or finding attractive. And if you say cafe or bookstore, believe me, I've been to a cafe bookstore in my city and I've never seen one. And it's not just about looks. Every guy I've encountered like this has always been very sweet and gentle, amazing humor, and honestly, someone who is very open and comfortable with themselves.
Friendly reminder, don't let people string you along. I'm 30 and I met Dan, who's 29, through mutuals about 3.
All right. We're going to do that friendly reminder in just a second. So since we're going to do that friendly reminder in just a second. So she's talking about where can she find that good guy? First of all, Clutch asked me, do you got a boyfriend? I would not have a boyfriend. Special shout out to Clutch, because Clutch's first time on the show tonight. Nice trolling question though. Pun intended, I'm guessing, but no boyfriends over here. You've got Cody says cats have toxoplasmo. All right. So y'all bringing that comic relief. Okay, so back to her comment. So she was talking about how there's a certain type of strange guy that kind of always fancies her, that she always fancies. She doubles back to that guy. Yeah, it's going to be a thing. You're going to be able to find a type of person that's not necessarily your type physical wise. It's not your type to be seen in public wise. So your ego might not be fancy of this particular type of person, but your personality will mesh well with this type of person. Your love language might mesh well with this type of person. And while that bad boy that you chase after isn't what you need, that one strange, vanilla, boring, stable person might be the one that you need. And as a result, you'll put yourself in a position where you find yourself gravitating back to that same type of person. If that's the type of person that you always find yourself attracted to but never getting involved with, and the people that you get involved with is never ending in a positive relationship, I recommend that you try again with the type of relationship that you avoid, because that might be the one that you need. I tell you guys I tell the ladies on a regular basis, instead of dating up, you want to find a man that is on your level, because a man that is on your level is a man that can do for you what you can do for yourself. And then if you love who loves you, so if the man is willing to give his whole life dedicating to you, it is easier for you to dedicate yourself to somebody who you already know is dedicated to you, which makes it 50% of the situation is solved, because if you are already loved by this other person, you just have to be able to find a way to love that person back, which can be challenging sometimes because a lot of us are shallow, men and women alike. So there is the Nico. What's up, my dog? Good to see you. So we have he was here a couple weeks ago on a Thursday. We was talking about some shit. So before I finish what I was saying, Nico said no, the chaotic ones are always the most loyal. They wear their issues on their sleeves. Okay. Yeah, I think I could co-sign on that one. The ones that ain't really got their life together, but they really need that stability, they probably will stick with you because they're not, don't nobody want to stick with all that chaos. So if they find somebody, they probably gonna cling to you, because the people who have a hard time matching up with folks is gonna have a hard time keeping them. And if they have a hard time keeping them, when they do get them, they kind of like cling, and not a lot of people like clinging. Sometimes clinging is a good thing when they're putting in extra effort to make sure that you know that you're appreciated and valued. But sometimes clinging can be overbearing and overwhelming, which makes a lot of people feel uncomfortable. The next generation calls clingy thirsty, so if you too thirsty and you ain't got no water with you, you're gonna be in a situation where they're gonna be talking bad about you, treating you like, and then you got the pity behavior because they feel sorry for you. So the chaotic ones, not the toxic ones, the chaotic ones, the ones that got too much drama in their lives, those are the ones that you got to be careful about, because while they might have a good attitude, but they might also have too much drama that you don't want to deal with, which is why it's hard for them to find a relationship. Cody said, just a pirate captain. Excuse me. In his question, that's what I'm looking for. All right, bro. So Nico said, me personally, I don't think so. I think the more women want to be around you, the more love it shows. Well, yeah. Okay. So in this particular scenario, you got the right idea, Nico. And Nico, a young man, y'all. So y'all got to understand that the next generation of dudes is way more knowledgeable than the last two generations of dudes. So y'all are gonna find more wise brothers in younger age. But Nico talking about how the women that want to be around you more will love to show it. The thing is that if a woman does care about you, you will know it. But likewise, when she stopped caring about you, you will ignore the fact that she stops caring about you, but you will know that she stopped caring about you, because all that extra going overboard that she used to do for you when y'all first got together, she find that to be a burden now. All of the extra favors and extra allowances and excuses that she used to give to you to allow you to slide on shit where you should not have been able to slide on that shit. She's short-tempered. She ain't really allowing not too much stuff to get away with nothing. The flexibility that she used to have in the beginning, there's no flexibility now. Matter of fact, when a woman is no longer interested in you, you're going to find yourself in more petty, insignificant arguments, where in the beginning, when she was all about you, catastrophic failure could happen, and she would be like, it's all right, baby, as long as we got each other. The attitude will change. And especially if she's dating somebody else, where she's all in on this other person and she's tired of you, she going to have all the fights with you and no fights with the other guy. So you'll know when she don't want you. You'll know when she don't want you. Nico says exactly. Cody says maternal love equals material paternal love equals a pattern. I thought that was weird. Yeah, it is a pattern. It is a pattern. You can love her just because she might love you for what you're doing, but if she can love what you're doing for her, she can eventually redirect that into loving you for doing it for her for so long. Likewise, a guy can love the fact that a woman is always there for him and end up loving her for always being there for him. So even for the fellas, you don't always have to aim for that 9 that's lying and saying that she's a 10, or that 7 or that 8 that's lying and saying that she's a 10. You could go get your 3 or 4 that's clearly going to understand that you are very important to her and make sure that you never forget it. And the flaws that she has, you can ignore because she's willing to dedicate herself to you, which honors the women's request to be accepted for who they are, flaws and all, but also meets the man's expectations. Got to find equal footing somewhere. Just got an animal from Just Go Animals from now on. You wild, bro. Chuck a cup of coffee, throw it in the air like you don't care. Nah, that's okay. That's why you don't find no two-face. Well, it's hard for you not to find a two-face person, bro, because you realize that there's a second side to them when they get comfortable with you. That's when you start experiencing the fact that they have a double attitude, the twin personality, semi-polar behavior and stuff to that effect, because they're going to be the kind of person that is going to be sweet to you in the beginning, sweet to you until they get comfortable with you. Then they're going to stop being sweet to you. Then you'll notice a behavior shift because they're going to be mean to you in private and nice to you in public. Everybody's liking them and falling for them like, oh, you got a really good girl. And then when you behind the scenes, she treating you monstrous, where you just sitting over here wondering about witness protection. That's that two-faced behavior you wondering about. You got them females that'll make you scared to leave them. They got some that's threatening to put you in jail and all kind of shit, ruining your reputation. And if you go to jail in the wrong state, mess with these females like Louisiana, they'll cut your dick off. It's a law now. So you got to be careful. If she's not, a woman can have a bad day where she's just not in the mood, but switching out behaviors, that's not cool. You gotta shut that down. Like the whole engagement, you gotta shut that down. All right, what we got going on here? He said, and from experience, the chaotic ones are usually not two-faced because you can see their issues. They wear it on their sleeve. The chaotic ones got so much stuff going on that they need help. So if you can help them with their chaos, they will love you forever. The only problem is that if you are a peaceful life, you're not used to chaos. And if you also got a chaotic life, y'all can't be like Backstreet and put your problems and my problems together and we can tackle these problems together. That don't always work, because if you about to file bankruptcy and I'm about to file bankruptcy, bitch, we about to both be homeless in this motherfucker. It depends on what problems you got, because if your problems will break my bank, I can't afford them problems. You need some emotional support. You need like a physical body standing there so that people feel a little bit of intimidation. We might be able to work on that. But I mean, if I got to cash out on this problem, like I got to pay for a whole new identity for you or some shit, like I got some problems that's just we just can't handle. So these are the things. And a lot of times chaotic lifestyles, you got women with children where the children are dysfunctional and the baby daddies are dysfunctional. So now she got to deal with the boys that she don't know how to deal with, and then she got the boyfriend, the ex, that baby daddy, whatever, that she don't have the ability to handle. And you can only do so much in that relationship because now you getting into a street fight with a grown ass man, and that ain't even your child. So these are the things that chaos bring chaos. Cody said they don't realize that I am really an Indian strong man. Go ahead, Cody. One face elastically happy, one face mournfully sad. There's no balance. Yeah, it does happen in reverse. It happens in reverse a lot because you'll see that in men as well, where they will be all like giving and everything to get the girl, and then as soon as they start dating, he be cheap as fuck. Women don't like that shit. Treat bad, then treat good, like them Sour Patch Kids. Like they sweet one moment and sour another. Can't deal with all that. I guess I'm just good at helping then. Yeah, we call that Captain Save-A-Hole syndrome. What happens is that you'll put all your effort into doing for her, but you can't turn them into housewives because, I mean, if she got too much chaos going on, she can't really do nothing to benefit you because you're saving her. So who's helping you be the savior? And like, it's good to be the protector, but the problem is that, again, there has to be reciprocation. So if you take stress off of her plate and bring balance to her life, she's supposed to take that less stress that she now has and that more balance that she now has, gather her thoughts together and find a way to reciprocate and take stress off of your plate. Because if you go from having a stress of one person to having a stress of two, and she goes from having a stress of one person to having a stress of none, she's not bringing balance to the relationship. So, and that works vice versa, ladies. So if you get with a man and you decide to be like the personal assistant and you boost up his business and all this other stuff, and you take a stress off of his plate and he's not doing nothing to make your life better either, that it's the same thing. That if you take a stress off of his plate, but he's not taking stress off of your plate, y'all still got the same quantity of stress. Y'all sharing the same meal. Y'all just swapping plates on what's on your plate versus what's on my plate. I'm going to take this because I like this. I can handle this. You don't like this. You can't handle this. Let me take this off of your plate, put this on your plate, and that we still both eating the same amount of stress. You understand? It's just that you can handle certain things better than I can, and I can handle certain things better than you can. So let me handle the things that I'm good at. You handle the things that you're good at, and we can knock this shit out of the park. We can be successful. But we have to work with each other. We have to help each other. If we're not helping each other, the person that's not contributing is the selfish one. And the person that is contributing is going to feel left out, abandoned, misused, mistreated. And it's going to lead to discontent and resentment, which is going to lead to negative behavior, which is going to be retaliated against by the person who's not contributing. Then you're going to have a back and forth tit for tat situation till y'all start having Ike and Tina breakup fights. And then it's where it's restraining orders and don't talk to one another again. Nico said a girl having issues and then having money problems are two different things. We don't entertain them money problems over here. That having issues for a woman is having a money problem, Nico, because there's certain types of problems like the outfit don't fit. Get a seamstress. You got to pay for the seamstress. The hair don't look right. Get it redone. You got to pay for it to get redone. Makeup, nails. My phone bill is due and I ain't got no money for it. The rent due. I ain't got no money for it. I need a babysitter. I ain't got no money for it. I need food. I ain't got no money for it. Name a problem that a woman has. It's that time of the month and I ain't got no pads. I need the money to buy them pads or the tampons and stuff. Name something that a woman has that's a problem in her life that doesn't cost money to fix. I don't like that dude or the ex baby daddy is coming and tormenting me. You got to pay for a restraining order. There is nothing that can happen in a woman's life that don't cost money. There's nothing. But I can tell you right now that there's all kind of stuff that happens in a man's life that don't cost money. That's why women are helpful and men have to pay for the women, because I can tell you right now, it don't cost you no money to take my dirty laundry and put it into my washer and dryer and wash and dry my clothes and iron them and fold them up and put them into the closet so that my clothes are organized and wrinkle free, because I don't have the time to do it. It don't cost you no money. It costs effort. It don't cost you no money to take the food out of my fridge and put it on my stove and cook me something to eat so that I got something to eat, because I ain't ate since yesterday and I've been at work since yesterday. It don't cost you no money to organize my life. Women don't want to hear that, but it don't cost a woman money to organize a man's life. It costs a man money to financially control a woman's scenario. That's what I'm saying. So outside of them situations where Cody said run to the Cheesecake Factory, you trying to get rid of her if you taking her to the Cheesecake Factory, Cody. Females don't like Cheesecake Factory for some reason. I love Cheesecake Factory. I don't know. A female, that is she missing out on some nasty stuff? Because we could go to the Cheesecake Factory and she can become the cheesecake that I start eating. So I mean, she over here trying to act a fool, but strawberry syrup, chocolate, whipped cream, a cherry on top. I'll look for your cherry. These girl got to understand, like y'all walking away from good stuff just because y'all egotistical. Because a man is not gonna say, "Oh, I don't want the cupcake at Starbucks. If I'm fucking hungry, I'll eat that bitch, poppy seeds and all." Nico says sometimes is just about how you talk and handle a girl's feelings. I don't think that's Captain Save-A-Hoe. No, if you talking to him, bro, like she got the ex-boyfriend and he treating her like garbage and she needs a shoulder to cry on. She's got the brother that did her dirty that she needs a shoulder to cry on. She's got the mother and father that's not treating her right, that she needs a shoulder to cry on. That's not Captain Save-Him. That's being a good friend. She's failing in school and the teacher talking to a stupid in front of the class and she's upset about that. She needs somebody to talk to. That's being a good friend, you know. But you 17, bro, we talk about grown woman problems. 25, 30-year-old grown woman problems. The landlord to put a final notice on the door. The repo man came and took the car from the job site, you know, stuff like that. We talk about grown folk problems. These little girls that's in your age group, they don't have the type of problems that grown women be having. You know what I'm saying? The pregnancy ain't going right. You got to pay for extra money to get her to the doctor so that she can get them checkups so that the baby come out right. You know, that grown woman problems, that there's nothing that a woman got going on. And ladies, feel free to tell me a problem that y'all have in y'all life that won't cost money to fix. Let me know, because I know I can go through a bunch of things that men need help with that don't cost a woman money because she's using his money and his resources to fix the problem. I need you to bring my car to the shop so that it can get fixed. I didn't put gas in it. You driving it to the shop and dropping it off. You're not even paying to pick it up. The car might be ready to be picked up from the shop and I can't pick it up from the shop because I'm at work. I didn't pay for the car. I just can't go get it. You're going to go to the shop and go get it. Nah, I'm going to pay for the cab for you to go to the shop and go get it. You still ain't paying for nothing for the dude. You just helping him out. That's what men need. Men need helpers. Men don't need a financial companion. They need a helper. When there's too much stress on a man's plate, he needs somebody to help him do shit that don't cost money so that he can get more shit done, so that he got more time to rest and relax and rejuvenate to get out there and handle more shit. Likewise, he can go and as a man, exactly. And likewise, the things that females need, if she need muscle, that's what her man is supposed to be for. If she needs a negotiator, that's what her man is supposed to be for. If she need a cash investment, that's what the man is expected to be for. So in order for the man to be that cash investment, she has to invest in the man so that the man can be more financially successful, so that he can make enough money to share his success with her. Because if he ain't got enough money to share his success with her, then he ain't got no ability to help her and maintain himself at the same time. And it is unethical for her to ask him to sacrifice himself, and she's not willing to sacrifice herself for him, because she's asking him to sacrifice himself for her. That makes no sense. A wizard, a handyman. Oh no. I'm a traditional type as well. I believe that's your job. But yeah, it is. But you, as a traditional type, you also believe that there is a tasks that women are supposed to do to aid the man in being successful. She's not just supposed to be there existing, enjoying all of your effort, doing absolutely nothing towards your success, where the most that she might do is allow you to sleep with her. That's not what being a female or being a woman is supposed to be about. That she has stuff that she's supposed to do, even if there's no children involved. She has stuff that she's supposed to do to keep this ship afloat, because the captain can't be steering the ship and turning the sails at the same time. Somebody got to turn the sails and somebody got to steer the ship. Somebody got to start the engine and somebody got to hold the steering wheel. Somebody got to push the boat off of the trailer while the other person steer the boat away from the dock so that the boat don't crash. It take more than one person to sail the ship, damn it, no matter what kind of ship you got. You feel me? So at the end of the day, she can't just ride the boat and looking pretty with her bathing suit, waiting to exhale over here. And you can't be doing all that shit, thinking that, everything gonna work itself out. Because when you bring that boat back to the dock, one of y'all is gonna have to steer the boat onto the trailer while the other person back the truck up to the water for the boat to get up onto the trailer. You gonna have to help somewhere, damn it. You ain't gotta buy no gas. You ain't gotta pay for the car insurance. You ain't gotta pay for parking, but damn it, you're gonna have to help him get the boat back. If it's just the two of y'all, you're gonna have to help him get the boat out of the water to same way you got to help him get the boat in the water. And that's how relationships are. The women are supposed to help the man so that the man can be more successful. They're not supposed to just sit there and enjoy the ride. Nico said, and if you don't get it, then you need to find a way as a man to go get it. You damn right. We be sitting there with 10 cents talking about something. I need $2,000, and we got to come back with that $2,000 before the deadline. And if we came back with 1,800, we feel like we failed. If we can't get an extension and pay the interest on that shit and get them to 1,800 so that they can let us slide, so that our woman not disappointed in us, bro, we'll do that. We'll go the extra mile. That's where interest fees came from. That's where loans came from. Cash advance and payday loans came from. I'll pay you extra if you can help me cover this situation so that she not disappointed in me. That's where the shit came from. But you're not going to be able to pull yourself out, because if you got a bill that you can't afford to pay and you borrow money that's going to cost you extra money to pay it, now you got two bills. Because if it's a reoccurring bill, not a one-time bill, then now you got to pay this bill a second time, and you got to pay that other bill now. And now you got two bills that you got to pay when you couldn't afford to pay it the first time, and now you can't afford to pay both the bills the second time around, which keeps you in a spiral of ongoing debt where you're making way more money, you're spending way more money on the same quantity of bills without actually getting more resources. You're not getting more for your money. You're spending more money for the same quantity of resources. It's a very, very vicious mistake. He said, wear a big mustache. That's against the law in a few states in America from way back in like the 17 or 1800s. Me and Mr. Pibbs this time last year was doing some ridiculous laws that are still in effect. It's wearing a fake mustache, going to church, and wearing a fake mustache, going into the bank. I think it was a fundamental law that led to the fraud cases, but you couldn't do that alongside the women couldn't fall asleep in a salon on a Sunday while getting their hair done under the hairdryer kind of thing. They made laws against that. It's crazy. But he said cooking, cleaning, all home things, right? Loans are a trap for real. You damn right. And that's why you just need to find a way to make passive income, which is what we be sitting here talking about on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, is ways to make money for us. Because if we ain't got extra money coming in, then we ain't got no money. I was sitting there looking at the 3 different REITs. I found a top 3 REITs that put money together. One of them putting out 45 cents a share, which is at the $3,000 range, you're making $100 a month. The other one is putting out 12 cents a share, so you're looking at about $10 a month, $10 to $20 a month. But between those, you're looking at $3,000 worth of money in 3 different situations. You might get close to $300 a month back off of your investment based on the distribution of shares off of these REITs. So I'm like, damn, less than 10 grand, looking at damn near $2,000 a year, $2-3 grand a year, because of the monthly dividend distribution. I keep trying to tell y'all, we got to find ways to make money for us. So just because I got an extra chunk of change of money that I'm not spending, I can put it in a place where it can make more money for me, so that I have more money. Then if I need to do something, I could take the dividends off of that money and go and take care of some stuff, instead of sitting over here borrowing against a stone where now I got to pay this person back and I can't afford that. That's what we keep trying to tell y'all. And then like old cowboy, like you said, no fake mustache low. Yeah, that's some old school cowboys. All right, let's go ahead and get on this next comment, because we do got a couple more of these coming through here.
Don't let people string you along. I'm 30 and I met Dan, who's 29, through mutuals about 3 months ago. During October to December, we texted on and off and hung out 3 times during that period. They were very informal or casual settings, either with friends or at a friend's house, so not a date. Regardless, we always had this unexplainable connection and lots of affection towards each other, holding hands, hand on the leg, etc. But he never tried to plan any dates or make an effort to hang more, despite my many attempts, so I stopped texting or replying to him. January comes and he texts me first. We exchange messages. I ask if he wants to meet up. He says he does, but dances around the question as to when /
Oh, definitely, Nico.
Busy.
I'm going to see you next time. As soon as you
Whatever.
come through, as soon as we
Time
finish
to
with
move
these,
on.
I'm going to
I
touch
don't
base
text
with you,
him.
brother.
Here's
You
the
be
plot
good
twist.
as well, man.
The following
See you
weekend,
tomorrow
he texts
night,
me at
definitely.
like 1 a.m., basically saying he thinks he have a good connection and he kind of likes me. He's had a great time every time we have hung out. I tell him to put his money where his mouth is a plan a date for us. He says he really wants to, but he's just so busy. Well, that was a week ago, and today's Valentine's Day. And although he's tried to keep texting and keep the convo going all week. There's still no date. Time to move on.
Last week, this what happened last week when because I had to turn the mic off to make sure that I don't have the feedback when I'm trying to make sure that y'all can hear the audio file. So check this out. So the girl mad because the man is trying to keep communication with her, but he ain't got no time. She want him to change his schedule for her, but the fact is that if he's interested in you and you're interested in him and he's not giving you the time that you want him to give to you, then you're supposed to put in that effort to go over there by him and go and find a way to make this shit work. Take it to the next level. Guys do not drag on a relationship. There are very few men, because there are men that just want an emotional connection with somebody because they're in a relationship with a woman that is not giving him the validation that he needs. So there are men that's going to do that, and they're going to do that on a social media dating site. So it's going to be hard for you to find the difference between a dude that is really trying to get with you versus a dude that just really wants to have a conversation. All people, men and women alike, when they get on these dating sites, especially when they're paying for it, they're looking for a serious connection. Unless they're ending up on one of those hookup dating sites where they're just looking for a real hookup. But if they're looking for, as a woman, if you're looking for a hookup, all you have to do is make that clear in the bio, and all the thirsty dudes will tap on your profile and try to get that hookup. But if you're looking for a serious relationship, you're not finding a lot of guys that are going to be able to balance the chaos in their work life that they're trying to hide from society versus trying to start a stable relationship with you. Men have to juggle this mentality that they got a lot of stuff that they're trying to balance to make it work, and they're trying not to miss on a positive opportunity with you. So if he's got 2 jobs, if he's got 60 hours a week that he got to handle, he might not have the time to come and meet with you when you feel like it. And now that Valentine's passed by, Valentine's is not a day for dudes. A Valentine is days for females, especially the greedy ones. What am I getting? What am I getting? What are you doing for me? What are you spending on me? Where are you taking me? And if you don't do that, those greedy women are going to be the ones that feel like you don't love me because you didn't spend money on me. But let's be honest, the truth of the matter is that if you care, Valentine's Day is supposed to be outside of the market pitch. It's supposed to be the expression of your love, affection, and admiration for the other person. It is not about you receiving shit. You got to realize most of the holidays, the fundamental core of the holiday to celebrate and recognize that holiday is for you to take your ass over there to the people that matter to you and validate them with your efforts. That is what the holiday is about. But selfishness of people, especially in Western culture, the holiday is about how many people validated us. You throw your own birthday party because don't nobody give a shit about you or they can't afford it. But you buy all of these expensive gifts to make it seem like you got it like that. If you are valuable to them, they don't got to spend a lot of money on you. They just got to show up and be there for you if they got the time. So my recommendation is, if you're in the relationship, instead of just getting salty and just walking away because he doesn't have the time, find out if you can squeeze yourself into his operation, because the same way a single man would be trying to do that with a single mother, he would be trying to find out, well, I can meet you at the school and then we can go somewhere where the child can go and have some fun and you and I can talk. If he really want to get with you, he'll set up a play date where you and your kid and him can go somewhere where your kid can go have fun while you and the man is talking. They will set stuff up. They will make sure that they do activities that keep the child in mind. Oh, let's go to the theme park. Let's go to the fair. Let's go to the zoo. Let's go this place, that place, bowling, stuff like that, where the kid can have fun, where the mama ain't got to worry about, oh, I can't afford for a babysitter. Now, women want to be cautious because they don't want their children to think poorly of them because they bouncing around from dude to dude. So they don't always want to introduce the man to the child on the first date. They got a lot of women that are concerned about the dude being a creep. So they don't want to introduce a child to the man until they're sure that the guy's not a creep. You got a lot of women that aren't confident in the success rate of their attempts. So they don't want to introduce the man into the child until there's something serious. But the fact of the matter is that if the man wants to be involved in the child's life and she's a dedicated mother, he's got to find a way to squeeze into her life. Likewise, ladies, if y'all want to be involved in a good man's life, you got to find a way to squeeze your ass into his life. So them BBLs ain't going to help you get into his life. You know, what'll help you get into his life is knowing that he's been working overtime on a regular basis. Find out that he don't have the ability to eat on the job. Make the man something nice to eat. Women don't like doing that. Go buy him something to eat. You ain't got to cook for him. Go buy him something to eat. Go to his job during his work hours and bring him something for him to eat so that when he get a break, he can stop and go eat. You never know, because he normally don't take breaks on the job. This might be the one day that he might take an hour break so that he can sit and spend time with you because you brought him something to eat. If you show up on a man's job and he's bringing him food and stuff and caring about his health and well-being and shit, he gonna ask you if you free after work, and he might be too busy to stay and talk with you right now, but as soon as he clock out, he gonna come find you. If you hovering where he can come and find you when it's time for him to get off from work, you gonna get his undivided attention because you put the extra effort into him. But just sitting around waiting on the man to make the first move, sitting around waiting on the man to make the second move, sitting around waiting on the man to advance the progress of the situation, no, that's not going to work in 2025. If y'all want to advance the success rate of y'all efforts, ladies, y'all gonna have to get y'all ass out there and be like men. Since you're being like men everywhere else, y'all got to get out there and be like men and put yourself in the position to progress the relationship or get rejected trying. That's what y'all got to do. But more often than not, if you got the kind of man that is good for you and you put yourself out there, he ain't gonna never let you fail. So if you put yourself out there to succeed with progressing with the relationship, he's going to support that. Okay. But if you chasing after your type and your type is not the type of person that you need, you might have some really good affairs, but you're not going to have the kind of guy that you need to have supporting your situation, which means it's going to end bad. It's either going to start bad or it's going to end bad. One of the two. But let's go ahead and touch on some of the other ones because we got about an hour left here.
I'm so sick of dating. I am 28 and have been dating a 34-year-old man since December 2024. We met online and got on very well, and it felt we had known each other for longer. We had so much in common, including our struggles growing up early without parents' support and still doing well in life. We wanted the same for our future, the kids and getting married. He made comments about how good we looked together, how many children timeline, wanting to keep things going if he moved away for a year with work, and told his family about me. We had a few disagreements or arguments, but no screaming or shouting matches, and managed to resolve this with communication. But it all went downhill when I asked his intentions with me, because he kept saying things were moving too fast, but I was following his lead what he asked, all the future stuff. He said we didn't really know each other, which I agreed, but was happy to continue dating. I wasn't expecting him to marry me straight away. He said he wasn't ready to label on what we were. When we made plans, he would change these. He said he wanted to be with me, but when I said his actions said otherwise, he said I had insulted him and needed to apologize. Then after resolving all of this, he said he didn't see a future with me, but didn't explain exactly what he felt he was missing out. It honestly felt like there were too many excuses. I don't know exactly what it was. He said we could take things slow, but he doesn't think it would change anything. He acknowledged that we have so much in common and want the same things, but we are not right for each other. He brought up that we have the same attachment style, I think avoidant or dismissive, and said once he puts up his walls, he cannot take them down. I know I'm not perfect, but I have worked on myself, and because of how much I liked him, I put all my effort to communicate with him and open up like he asked. Now I just feel like, what is wrong with me? Am I not good enough? What am I missing? What did I do wrong? And it just sucks when you put effort into someone and try your best and they string you along and drop the bomb. It was nothing. We took turns paying on dates. I am financially independent and have my own things. I listened to his frustrations and gave him advice. I was affectionate and we made jokes and didn't anything too seriously. It's just disheartening having to put yourself through this over and over again and it doesn't end well.
How do I get a boyfriend?
You acting a fool. He said slip on Aeon. Hey, banana peel. All right, look. So here we got this issue where your boy, he in it for the long haul, so you thought, and then you feel like he switched out on you. Well, the problem is that y'all too much alike with y'all pet peeves about shutting each other out and holding grudges. Now, he got some issues and he ain't telling you about. And while you willing to go with the flow, it's going too fast because you're not putting the brakes on, and men aren't used to that because men are used to women that you got to drag them like mules to get success in a relationship. And if you don't have that tug of war in a relationship, it moves too fast. So it does not mean that you need to change and stop being cooperative. Stay being cooperative. He just wasn't ready for commitment at that time. He also has to deal with the pressures of the people in his family that's talking about marriage and other such. If y'all moving too fast, y'all start living together, y'all start having kids, this, that, and the third, and it's just too much. He don't have his stuff together to be able to support this type of commitment. And exactly, Cody said it. He's scared. He gonna get it. Ain't about the cooties though, Cody. It ain't scared that he gonna get the cooties. He's scared about this commitment. People are scared of commitment these days. They're not just scared of the financial loss of the divorce. There are a lot of people who have a little bit of a concern about the commitment. And because they have a little bit of a concern about the commitment, you have problems where if it's moving too fast, people, men and women alike, will run from the relationship. And because they will run from the relationship, they'll throw away a good thing because they don't have the confidence to make that thing work. You have people who don't feel like they are capable of supporting the relationship if the relationship was successful. And that's the issue that they got. So since they have, he said for Ingle James, so since they don't have the ability to be emotionally confident, emotionally intelligent in their choices, they're in a problem where they run from everything. So what you would have had to do is take it more slow, understanding that while you are all in, the fact is that you got to be all in at his pace. And if you're all in at his pace, marriage might take you 7 to 10 years, but you're all in regardless of the fact. Long as you're not rushing the situation or adding, the fear of success is a lot more terrifying than the fear of failure, because you could be on a roll and you will self-sabotage just to make sure that you don't get a perfect score, because you're afraid of not being capable of maintaining that perfect score going forward. You will flunk out because it's easier to accept failure than it is to maintain success or fail after succeeding. That's another issue. The fear of failure after success, which is part of the fear of success because you don't believe that you can maintain that. So in that relationship, ma'am, I would tell you that, if he breaks it off with you, I would just let him go. Don't change the way you are. If you find somebody that you mesh with, that you're all in with, be all in, but move at their pace. Swim forward when they swim forward, but stay still when they stay still. And as long as you do that and you follow their lead, and you have to reassess the relationship every now and again. He said, Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, you have to analyze the relationship every now and again and make sure that everybody's happy. But a lot of times, what you got to do to find out if you're not doing something wrong, you have to go over to your man and you got to ask him, is everything okay with him? You got to ask him if he feels as happy and satisfied in a relationship as you do. Men always ask the women, are you okay? Are you happy? Can I get you anything? What's wrong? Who did it? Who do I got to hurt? Who do I got to do more to? But the fact is that women don't always ask. At best, we got moderate to good women that'll ask a man if he's hungry. That's about it. But what can I do to take the stress off your plate? What can I do to help you with the situation that's got you mad, especially when the situation that got you mad ain't got nothing to do with me? What can I do to help you with your problem because your problem is not with me. But if it was with me, what am I doing that's causing you to have a problem? And if I can change that, give me time to make that change. You understand? That's the mentality of men. So ladies, if you want to be more like men, get that characteristic. That fucking characteristic will make you a golden child. You would become a prize, because the women that cooperate with men the way men try to cooperate with women, those are the men, those are the women that the men will love, because that is a rare egg. That's like trying to find a Mewtwo in the Pokemon collection. That's like trying to find Exodia. That's like trying to find a foily blue eyes white dragon. That's right. You understand? That's like a rare collectible. You understand? So we got to figure these things out real quick, because if you beat yourself up over it, then you're not going to want to do it for the next person. And that's going to be a problem, because the next person might deserve it and you don't even have it in you to give it to them. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Been single since literally forever. I'm 25 years old and have never really dated before. I go to the malls, coffee shops, restaurants, even to the gym, but never had the experience of being approached by men. Although I look decent enough with makeup, am mid-sized and doing everything I can to be healthy and fit, I just don't know what's wrong with me. I always wondered why I have a hard time finding someone to date. My parents try to reassure me that it's better to be single than have bad boyfriends, but all their advices make me feel even more lonely. Now that I'm getting older, I worry feeling that I might become single for the rest of my life. The idea of being single for the rest of my life makes me feel even more lonely. I've tried online dating, more like online chatting, but they fizzle out in the end. What could I possibly do as a woman to get a boyfriend? I am so sick of dating.
Yeah, that's
at 26.
We're experiencing a lot of that right now. Men have been experiencing this long before the internet, but the online dating has become a problem, because if a man is attracted to another woman and attracted to you at the same time, and the other woman moves him into a in-person engagement, men and women both do pretty much the same thing when it comes to this, is that if in the event that you are in a scenario where you're talking to more than one person online, and one person look like it might be serious, all the other ones you ghost. Then when the one that you thought might be serious turns out to not be serious, that's when you go back and try to double back to the ones that started ghosting you now. Also, if you're going through personal stuff in your life and you was talking to somebody when times was good and now times are tough, you don't want to incorporate that person into your tough times. So you stop talking to them because you don't know how to progress them into your chaos. As a result, you're not trying to progress the relationship because you got chaos in your life right now. And sometimes that chaos might last you a couple weeks, but there are times where that chaos might last you a couple months or a couple years. You know, especially when the chaos is related to money being tight and you don't have the ability to get that money up quick, which is why I've been giving y'all information on how to get your money up in different ways so that y'all can find ways to make money for you. But until you listen to what I got to say and start applying it, the fact is that it's hard to make ends meet a lot of the times around here because we ain't got enough going on. And with the tariffs kicking us in the nuts, everything is about to start costing more money. And the stuff that's going to cost us more money is going to mean that we're going to get less stuff for the same dollar that we used to get most stuff with back in the day, which means that we're going to have more shit to pay for and less resources, which means we got to work more because most of us are living on a paycheck to paycheck environment, which means that for the fellas, since ain't nobody going to give us money because we cute, ain't nobody gonna give us no money because we sexy. Ain't nobody gonna give us no money because we bat our eyelids and do the little duck face thing. Ain't nobody gonna do that for us. So as dudes, what we gotta do is we gotta get out there and we gotta go find another hustle. We gotta go find another grind. We have to look at the job that we own and see if we can get a raise from our current employer. We have to start looking around for a more profitable job in the same skill set. Because if the job that we're working on is not willing to pay us more money, we need to start looking for a job that's willing to pay us more money. But while we understand that while we continuously looking for a higher paying job, the companies are putting more effort into replacing humans with machines so that they don't have to pay so much money for the labor. So those of us that don't have tech degrees is going to have to go back to college and get tech degrees. Because if when manual labor and blue collar work jobs come off the table and get replaced by machines, everybody who got a tech degree is going to be making the machines that's going to be working on the field. The software developers are going to be servicing the software, and the machines is going to be doing all of the manual labor work. So taking 10 blocks to get across the street, I want you guys to understand that, ladies, it is hard to date when it is your responsibility to make the first move. It is hard to date when it is your responsibility to progress the date. And the more you ladies get out into the dating field and take the masculine approach, instead of just sitting there waiting to be picked, and you're sad because ain't nobody coming to you and offering their services to you, instead of that situation, if you put enough time into finding the ones that look like they might have what you're looking for, and then chase them down the way you expected men to chase you down. I told y'all, ladies, everybody was throwing themselves at your feet when you was between 16 and 25, whether that's legal or not. They was all at your feet. But now that you 25 to 30, 35 to 40, 45 to 50, you got less people even interested in communicating with you. So the ones that do respond to you, those are the ones where you got to decide for yourself, is this the one I want? Is this the one I want? If yes, you're going to have to chase him down the way men used to chase women down back in the day. You're going to have to make it a point to try to meet him in person. If you can't meet him in person, you can drop off lunch. You can find out what he do for a living, and then find out where that occupation is located at if he's willing to tell you, and then go bring him something to eat. They say that of the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That's because we dying, we starving ourselves to death. We sacrifice ourselves for success. We don't get enough sleep. We don't get enough rest. That's not the same thing. We don't get enough food. And then we need a woman to come up there and tell us when we're doing too much, so that we need to stop and rest, so that we can stop and sleep, so that we can stop and eat. We don't have enough time to get all of our personal stuff done in our personal lives. So we end up being disorganized because we spend most of our awake time working. So we don't have enough awake time after we finish working to go and do stuff around the house in order to keep our lives together behind the scenes. And if we don't have a partner that's going to be a behind the scenes partner to keep us afloat, we're going to sink. We're going to sink. So as women, because it's about the third or fourth woman that came up onto the show today that has complained about the fact that the men are not making the first move no more. The men are not making the second, third, and fifth move no more. The men are not forcibly progressing the relationship no more, where you can go along for a free ride with no effort. I told y'all, ladies, we in a different generation. It's y'all turn to get out there and go find what you're looking for. It's really all there is to it. Because if you think about it, the middle-aged men, 35 to 45, 45 to 55, they are what you're looking for right now. They realize all of the financial mistakes they was making growing up. They found what they're looking for with you, and now they are in a situation where they know their worth, their value. They know what they want to value from you, and if you don't meet that expectation, they ain't even willing to talk to you, in person or online. But they're so focused on getting their money up that they don't have enough time to focus on a relationship. And if you're trying to date a man who's financially driven, which is what women want, in order for you to be an asset to him so that he can give you his undivided attention, you have to be an asset to him. So if he's trying to get all the information he needs to get this business deal together, you need to dive in there and start bringing him some fucking information. If he's trying to be in two places at once, you need to volunteer to represent his agenda in one of them locations so that he don't got to be on both sides of the town at the same time. If he got that much stuff to do that he don't have enough time for you, you need to offer your services to reduce the quantity of things he has to do so that he got more free time. And if he got more free time, that free time should be spent with you. Because just like if you helped a man make $1 million, he gonna share it with you, because if you wouldn't have helped him, he wouldn't have got the money. So think about where you putting your time and your effort in, because if you invest in your man and invest in your relationship, then your relationships are going to be more successful. If you going along for the ride thinking that it's the man's job to progress the relationship and it's the man's job to put effort into the relationship, and if you don't do nothing, nothing will happen, and then you're going to get bored and walk away and hope that you find another man that's going to push the relationship, shit ain't going to happen. That shit is not going to happen. Because why would a man who's financially stable, living by himself, put himself in a financially unstable situation with a woman that's not even going to help him with the lack of financial stability he has because of her? Because he's taking his bills and her bills and putting them together, and now he got more shit to pay for. So think about that when y'all start thinking about, griping about these men and their lack of availability. Let's move on to the next one. I think we got one or two more.
At 26,
Husband of 10 years, who's 35, is amazing on paper. But I'm coming to terms with the fact I was taken advantage of. We have 2 kids together. Our daughter is 9 and our son is 6. We've been together for 10 years but have been married for 7. I'm originally from a small town and ran away from home at the age of 15. I grew up in a really bad environment. My parents were drug addicts that were in and out of jail, and I was basically left to fend for myself since birth. I got to a bigger city, spent 1 year in and out of other people's homes, and then I met my husband shortly before I turned 16. When I met him, we barely talked for the first few months, but his girlfriend at the time offered me to be their roommate. They eventually broke up, but he didn't make me move out, and let me stay there for free when he realized I was dirt poor. I had a fucked up view of people being nice to me, and because he was so nice and he was a man, my teenage brain thought that it meant he wanted sex. So yes, it was me that came on to him, and I used this to excuse him engaging with me because I made the first move. But I was 16. He was 24. I ended up getting pregnant quickly with my daughter, and then we had our son a few years after. As our kids grow older, I'm trying to shield them from so many of my wrongs, and to do that effectively, I started going to therapy, in secret.
Good job.
It was only this past year that I realized my husband took advantage of me, and that he was the adult. He's an amazing father. He's a great husband and provider. But I've had 2 breakdowns in the past 3 months because I'm so angry at him at the same time. I love my kids, but I shouldn't have been thrown in that situation at such a young age. I don't know what to do. Please, advice on where to go from here.
What kind of stupid shit is you talking about? So first of all, you fucked up because you ran away from home. You put yourself in a bad spot. You bouncing around from couch to couch. You get taken in by somebody, and then that progresses into something that you still in 10 years later. Let me tell you something. Beyonce wasn't grown when JC got with her, and Jada Pinkett wasn't grown when Will Smith got with her. Ike had Tina when Tina was not old enough. It is a standard understanding that, and look, they got other countries where the legal age is 13 and 16 and all this, that, and the other, and they got some countries where it's younger than that. America just set it at 18. When the lifespan was 50 years old, when you was old enough to drop children, you was old enough to get married off. In 1949 in the United States, in 1930 in the United States, in 1874 in the United States. Okay, so you sitting over here saying, oh, he took advantage of you. How? The way you explain it, you ain't had shit. You had a terrible life. He picked your ass up off the street, gave you a place to stay. He did nothing to you. And he broke up with his girlfriend, and instead of kicking you out, he let you stay. You made passes at him. He didn't make passes at you. You made passes at him. And because he didn't say no, he's taking advantage of you. How? Oh, it's his fault because he didn't say no. Yeah, of course. In a court of law, they'll put him under the jail because any consensual with the minor is going to be locked up. But the fact is that he didn't get caught between your 17th birthday and your 19th birthday. He didn't get caught. So since he didn't get caught with his hands in the cookie jar before the flower blossomed, at the end of the day, he dodged the bullet. But he didn't take advantage of you, though. Taking advantage of you would have been him convincing you to do something that you wasn't willing to do. Taking advantage of you would have been him bribing you to do stuff that you didn't feel comfortable to do. Taking advantage of you would have been him getting you intoxicated or inebriated in some way, shape, or form, and then doing stuff that you wasn't conscious to agree with. Taking advantage of you was him catching you when your ambitions were down, or catching you in some way, shape, or form when you did not have the knowledge or capability to say no. But the fact is that just because you was mentally unstable because people treated you like shit throughout your childhood, and you decided to use sex as an outlet, and you decided to come on to this dude, and then that led to your first child, which led to your second child, which led to all these other children, and you stayed with this man since you was 16. You might be 27 right now with 3 kids, but this man has stuck with you this whole time. That is your husband. He ain't bad. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He ain't did nothing to you. You saying that this man did something negative to you is like saying that Lot did something bad to his daughters in the mountains. You got to understand that a man has a responsibility to be a man. And even if men have needs, men have enough self-control to not make the first move. But we should not be required to have so much self-control that we don't make any move. What kind of nonsense is that? Oh, now he's supposed to know when you was supposed to be 16 and he was 20. He's supposed to know, oh, I'm not supposed to take her sexual advances. She's living in my house for the last 6 to 8 months, probably going on her 17th, almost 18th birthday. I'm supposed to just turn her down all the time. So what you really telling me is that instead of this man keeping you in his life, building a life with you, starting a family with you, and keeping you off the street, what he should have done when his girlfriend broke up with him, so that he would not be in the house with the minor with no other woman involved, he should have kicked your ass out. That's what you're saying. And because he didn't kick your ass out, you're saying he's a bad person. You're saying that your trauma is now going to be your child's trauma and your husband's trauma, because now you're going to make him regret ever meeting you because you fucked up in the head. No, ma'am, that is not a good look. My recommendation to you, keep going to counseling. Don't start no shit with your husband. Treat that man like the gold he looked like on paper, because you're not going to find another man that is going to do for you what this man been doing for you since you was not old enough to do it for yourself. So since you already got him at 16, put your 10 years in at 26, 27 years old, and you almost outside. You already outside the market. You're not almost outside of the market. 3 kids in over the age of 25, you are no longer available. You are like a total Prius. You are no longer available. Ain't nobody on the market going to be like, ooh, that's a keeper. So if you don't, and you got mental health issues, no, they're not going to say you traumatized all over the place. No. That's like a Porsche that just been through a crash derby. No, you ain't nobody gonna want it. Ain't nobody gonna want it. So since you done already passed all the best years of your life, and now you in that age group where outside of jump offs, you're not gonna find too many men that's committing with you at your age group with 2, 3, 4 kids. The husband that you done had for the last 10, 11, 12 years that has never treated you wrong, that has never done you nothing negative, that has never mistreated or abused you in any way, shape, or form, that's the man that you're supposed to stay your ass with. How you doing, Carl? So when they come through and they be making all these excuses, and I'm impressed by this one, because this person thought that it was entertaining or in some way, shape, or form insightful to get up here and try to make this man been with her all this time look like dirt just because she came on to him when she wasn't old enough to come on to him. Child, let me tell you something. These people, they be coming. It's good to see you. It's definitely good to see you, bro. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. You diving in a little late today. We put in damn near 2 hours already. I'm gonna give you guys another 30 minutes, and then I got this 1 a.m. that I got to take care of. I got more time tomorrow. I think the throughout the week I'm gonna have longer shows because I'm gonna have less contracts going. I got to figure things out with daylight savings time, because time is supposed to go forward an hour, which means that the show is going to start an hour sooner because we're not changing daylight savings time. So while it's 10, 11, 12 o'clock, it's going to start an hour sooner to stay on the same timeline, because we're not changing times for daylight savings time. So I got to adjust for shit. He said, put my mom to sleep at the nursing home. Oh, that's good. See, I took care of my mom until she died too. I'm taking care of my dad till he died too. You know, it's good. See, when you take good care of your kids will take care of you when you're old. It's the best retirement investment that you can have. So when you complaining about all the money you're spending on you chilling, I was telling y'all, pay for your kids' education and shit by donating money to the public schools instead of wasting all that money on the private schools. Your kids will take care of you when you get older. If you treat your children right, even if you make mistakes and make bad choices and they pissed off with you when they're teenagers and they hate your guts, but when they grow up, they realize the sacrifices that you made for them and they appreciate and value that, them children are going to come circle back around and make sure that mom and dad is taken care of. So in all reality, in all honesty, you know, if you put as much effort into your kids and your partner in your relationship, the good ones will take good care of you. So if you teach your kids to be good kids, teach them to be good adults, well-rounded, healthy adults, they will turn around and do good for you. So I'm proud of you, Carl, for looking after your mom, man. Amen. Blessing all the way around. It's good that you out there taking care of your mom. And I'm not going to be one of them people that's going to tell you, oh, you're going to get blessed for that. No, you're already blessed. Because in order for you to have extra resources to share with somebody else, you had to have been blessed in advance. The people believe that your good deeds will give you good deeds in return. Your ability to do good deeds could be because you've already received good deeds. Because when they start talking about in that Bible about how your actions of generosity that are supposed to be done with no strings attached, you're supposed to be giving it with a smile, not with no intention of reciprocation, right? Alongside the other one that talks about how when you give that it's supposed to be folded 10 times, ratified, and then given back to you tenfold. The observation is that because if you read the other one that says that when you do for somebody, that their gratitude weighs the value of your efforts. So if they feel like you did a lot for them, that they're going to do a lot for you in return. That's where the tenfold come from, because if you do something for somebody else and they value that enough, they will give you back in tenfold what you did for them because they valued it that much. So you're not entitled to tenfold reciprocation on blessings because you bless somebody else. The fact that you have extra to bless somebody else is the reason why you have the capabilities to bless somebody else. So the blessing that you got is you doing something for somebody else. Because if you didn't have enough, you wouldn't be able to do something for somebody else. If you didn't have enough for yourself, you wouldn't be able to do something for somebody else. It's everything revolves around love when you're not talking about money. So the fact is that if you are going the extra mile for the people that matter to you, that turns into love, even if it ain't love in the beginning, that turns into love, because you got platonic love, and then you've got sexual and emotional and relationship kind of love. But either situation comes from effort being put in, because you can fall for somebody who's always dedicating to your success the same way that they can fall for you, never giving up on them, even when you treat them or they treat you like garbage in the beginning. So you got dudes in the friend zone that stayed in the friend zone for 5, 10, 12 years. And now all of a sudden they married, where she'd had a bunch of reckless relationships between the time that they first met and the time that she decided to give him his shot. They done had a bunch of reckless relationships, but at the end of the day, she decided to give the man a chance because he never gave up on her. But it takes that self-realization that I got somebody that always got my back. And instead of me bringing that person up front where I can see him, I'm going to keep that person behind me and keep looking for the person that I need that is willing to have my back, like the person that's got my back. And it take a couple years, sometimes a couple decades, but once them wheels spin enough and it going to click on them, that the person that got my back is the person that I need. I need to go see how the person that got my back feel. And you see it in them love stories, the TV shows and all of that, like Friends. Notice how Ross and Reese, all the stuff that happened, they ended up with one another towards the end. You know, you got to look at the all of the things that happen in your life if you're not paying attention, that just slips right on by. And if we put enough effort into ourselves and we put enough effort into our own success, we can find people that's going to put effort into our success. And because we're successful, we will have enough success to share our success with the people that we love. And that's when the ladies are going to start receiving that reciprocation. Sons take care of their moms, brothers take care of their sisters, fathers take care of their daughters. So ladies, y'all are going to find, y'all have good men in y'all life that will do for y'all. Y'all just don't know it because y'all so used to accepting free stuff with no reciprocation. So if y'all change y'all mindset and put more effort into giving more than what you take, where it should be a 60-40 scenario where you give 60% of the time and you accept 40% of the time, then you will see a world of difference in your relationship. Even as females, if you give to your boyfriend or your husband more than you receive from your boyfriend or your husband, you are going to see a man that is going to give you so much more, because no matter how much you give him, he get just that much more back from you. Carl says there are so many single women which are being bad role models for those daughters that are going to teach them to screw up their future relationships. Yeah. Yes, there are a lot of bad role mothers out there that they got bad role mothers right now teaching the daughters to turn their backs on their fathers. They got bad role models right now teaching daughters to turn their back on their brothers. They got bad role models that's teaching the women to turn their back on their children. You know, so they're not teaching them to be family oriented. They're not teaching them to be partners. They're not teaching them to be cooperators in life. And that was the role of women. The feminine role was to be cooperative. We already talked about this last week when we were talking about how the relationships were supposed to be about, or like the women being born from the rib to be the helper, where Jesus made the woman to help the man serve God. The fact is that her role is supposed to be a supportive role. So if this was a Call of Duty game, she would be the sniper on the back end that's taking shots. She would be the support group that would be bringing the med packs when we get shot down. She would be the one when we get nicked that she keep us from getting fragged. But we got females right now that only want to show up at the end of the fight to catch the V. I don't understand. How are you going to get the reciprocation without putting in on it? Special shout out to Milk BTW. First time today. I think you were here a couple times earlier this week. He said, I'm into stock as well, brother. I'm a real fan of Nvidia and Apple and Google, etc. We were talking about them guys, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, when it comes down to the stock market. Google's actually being sued right now, a monopoly lawsuit, where they put all of their primary shareholders of all of their competitors. And then what they did was they made Google the primary search engine on all devices. So their primary shareholder, the Google Gmail is a primarily used Gmail across most platforms. And then Gmail is the primary account set up for your cell phone. And then Gmail is the primary search engine. And then Gemini becomes a primary search engine on top of the primary search engine. And now you're looking at Google Chrome taking over laptops and desktops and other such. So they became a monopoly because you got a bunch of browsers that people don't know about. Yahoo is the second most popular one next to AOL and Safari or Chromium that people know about. But outside of them, like DuckDuckGo and all of those other web browser search engines that nobody knows anything about because Google took over the search engine market. So they got, with the lawsuit in play, they got a lot of stuff to deal with. They got a lot of stuff to deal with. He said, wow, I knew that. I'm learning about crypto as well, but I've currently made 231,748 in stock, and most of was from Nvidia, and I'm learning more about more and more every day. Well, of course, if you listening to the stuff I'll be talking about Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you'll be learning all kinds of stuff about stocks. You'll be learning about Bitcoin. You'll be learning about, all of the different financial transactions that we have on a show, because I cover all of the ones of relevance. I don't cover the entire stock market, but I definitely cover the ones that put out the most revenue in the shortest period of time for us, the ones that have long-term payouts and short-term satisfaction, because we don't have the patience. Most of the bottom 99 don't have the patience to put $500,000 or $250,000 down and wait 20 years for it to turn into something. We need to see results today. So I said, well, look, let me show y'all ways that y'all can put y'all money into places where you can get you some now money. Now, the smaller your investment is, the smaller your return is going to be. But the now money that you're going to be getting right now gives you the confidence to be able to go and continue to invest more, which will give you in a shorter period of time a larger quantity of revenue on the back end. So I myself strongly encourage individuals to look into the stocks, look into the REITs. One of these days, I'm going to do a follow-up show on some of my investment opportunities and be able to show you guys what it looks like to put your money away. and see money coming in. But with $231,000 that you was able to generate and have in your possession from all of your investments, I got to give you a congratulations. If you are able to find a way to get more than 20% return on almost $250,000, you're looking at making between $70,000 and $100,000 a year in profits off of that $250,000, which means that your standard of living is completely paid for based on the dividend distribution from your stock option. So you don't even have to work. If you're working because you feel like it, not because you need to, which makes your attitude better on the job. And it gives you the ability to be more financially successful, because instead of you wasting all of your money, you're using your discretionary funds to generate more revenue so that you have more money in your pocket going forward. So I'm glad to know that you're in here like swimwear. Apple stock. I've been telling you guys about getting into Apple stock, but the problem with Apple stock is that Apple stock is, here we go, Carl. We on the same page. Risky business. And the fact is that you put your money into these businesses, and if the business stays there, you getting money back. If the business disappears, your money disappears with it. When you have lawsuits like Google's lawsuit, shareholders are going to feel that payoff. When you're dealing with Apple stock, you got high price shares where, it's going to have a share value increase, but there's zero dividend distributions, which means that you're going to buy that $300 or $400 share stock, hold on to it until it turns into $1,000 share stock, but you got to sell it to get money off of it. You haven't realized returns until it starts paying you dividends. So I show you guys ways to have dividend paying stocks, put money in your daily operation so that you can either reinvest it back into the stocks to make a larger return in the future, or live off of the distributions that's coming to you and take the change and put it back in there so that your bills is paid, but all the money that you don't need for your primary standard of living goes into that stock, which gives you the ability to increase the revenue stream. If you are able to redirect your money into places where the dividends qualifies as monthly earned income, then you can use working capital loans against the cash that you're getting in on a month-to-month basis from the dividends distributed from the stock option, which also means that now if you want something, you can take a cash loan off of whatever it is that you're trying to do, and then you take the cash loan, go buy what you want, cash up front. Now you got ownership of it, and you only owe the cash back off of the deal. So if your money is still making money for you after you done bought this item, now your money is paying a loan. And if your money is paying a loan, then you don't owe no taxes if you got more money on the loan than what you got on earned income from the stock investment. So think about that too. So there's a lot of things going on. It's risky business, but you got to find a way to make money for you. And to minimize the risk, you're supposed to diversify. So instead of just getting one source of funding, you got to get 2 or 3 sources of funding. And once you get those 2 or 3 sources of funding, you want to increase your revenue until you can branch out and get 6 to 8 sources of funding. You want to make sure that you invest in everything, including gold and silver. You want to make sure that you switch out and you also invest in the crypto. That way you can keep your money making money for you. Now, if you maintain that ability to expand, now when you start traveling, you can start investing in other countries, offshore countries, where your money is coming from the U.S. and it's funding that country's GDP and turning out a profit off of it. If you're doing that, you will end up in a situation where the places that you fly to, you checking on your money. So it's a business trip. The profits that you're getting off of all of this investment, tax deduction for the business trip. So you're still going to be able to save money in a lot of places, because even if you file your taxes on a month-to-month basis, you've already covered all of the requirements to cover your standard of living. And now every transaction you're making right now is covering the profits, covering the taxes on the profits. So now spending money is going to become a tax deduction. You're going to spend money to get stuff so that you don't have to pay money to the IRS as they're investigating the IRS. So we're going to be talking about that coming up soon too. So with that being said, I did tell you I had something I got to get in touch with on 1 o'clock. So I'm going to shove off a little bit early tonight because I want to get everything set up. I like to make sure that I'm prepared for my clients. So because I like to do big business, and my Asian clientele started an hour ago, but my first contract of the night starts in the next 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap things up for the show right now. And then when we come back tomorrow, we're going to be talking about a lot more things that makes us make everything make sense. And until, ladies, it makes sense, I'm going to keep asking y'all that as long as the situation doesn't make sense, ladies, I'm going to keep asking y'all to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. I appreciate Carl. Special shout out for Carl coming out tonight. I'm definitely going to see you tomorrow, buddy. Thank you for being able to tiptoe in here. We did manage to tee it off at 10:30 on the dot this time around. So we trying to make sure that we stick to the timeline. I know that when daylight saving time start up, it's going to be 9:30 on the dot because we're not going to change our time slot in recognition of daylight savings time. So when time go forward an hour, we're going to start at the same time. It's just going to be an hour sooner Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you stick with us through daylight savings time. Again, I want to thank everybody else for coming to the show, for giving us that love. I really appreciate you guys. We are 7 nights a week. We are sticking to a pretty decent time slot now. Since we're sticking to a pretty decent time slot now, y'all should be able to see us right on time or really close to it. So make sure that you guys double back. And if you miss the show, you can go back and watch it from the beginning and see all of the information that I was able to provide to y'all today, and take a look at some of the stuff that we got throughout the week, because we did put up some episodes that we already know we're going to do, and we got some gaps in there to fill in some of the breaking news bulletins that I got to start covering throughout the week. So note, we are 7 nights a week. Even if you don't see a show scheduled for the tomorrow, the next day just yet, just know that we got some up there already, and we're going to be getting the rest of them up. So tomorrow night's show is tomorrow night. Just don't know what the topic's going to be about just yet, but we're going to figure that part out. 70% of the podcast is men. Thank you guys. Thank you, fellas, for showing up to the podcast and giving us love. Thank the ladies for putting their 2 cents in. Appreciate Twitch for showing us love. Special shout out to Red Void, Omni81, Liberty Twitcher, Mr. Pibbs. I appreciate you guys from TikTok as well. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys for tonight. So thank you guys for coming to This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. I'm your host, Xander, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow night.
Higher ground. Used to chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting down upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. Standing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground.